This case is a wild one. Travis Alexander was a very, very successful young businessman. Travis got really into the church and Mormonism. His job that he was in, he would go around and do like motivational speaking and go to these different conferences. Jodi, growing up, she grew up in a house with her mom and her dad. When she started becoming a teenager, she started to rebel. She jumped from boyfriend to boyfriend. Jodi got a job and one of her bosses said, "Hey, we want to send you to this conference." And of course, Jodi's like, "Yes, let's go." This was in September of 2006. And at this conference, Travis was speaking. And later on that evening, somebody told Travis that he should meet Jodi. They just had an instant connection and chemistry. In February of 2007, they become a couple. She started becoming very possessive of Travis. She's trying to let everybody know that she is his woman now. Jodi was going through his emails, found some emails that Travis had that he was corresponding with another female, and they both decide that they need to just split up. She didn't really have a job. Travis, who felt bad for her, started letting her do things like clean his house. They ended up in a relationship with another girl. Her name was Lisa. And around this time is when Travis started noticing that his tires were being slashed on his vehicle, and Jodi was just acting like nothing was wrong. Things started getting even more weird for Travis at this point because Jodi would do things like hiding in the bushes, looking in the windows. One time she crawled through his doggy door and got into his house and crawled in his bed with him. And of course he was alarmed and scared, like, whoa, how did you get in here? But they ended up being, and he forgot about it, and life went on. Travis and his girlfriend broke up. He kind of went through a few different relationships. Travis was really looking for a wife, but he wasn't looking at Jodi, and Jodi was definitely looking at him. So as Travis was in and out of these other relationships, he would always go back to Jodi, but he would travel a lot, and when he couldn't find anybody else to go with him, he would take Jodi with him, and she just really held on to this. Although Travis was telling her that he didn't want to be in a relationship with her. Jodi moves from the town that she was living in Arizona, where Travis was, back to California to live with her grandmother. Travis went on to live his life. Unfortunately, Jodi did not go on to live her life. She became more and more obsessed with him. He was having his Google account hacked and broken into, just weird things were happening, but they were still talking and having phone relations. Travis had a trip coming up that was another business trip, and it was to Cancun, Mexico. He had a crush on this woman named Mimi that was in the Mormon church. She didn't want an relationship, but Travis decided he was going to invite her to go on this trip to Cancun, Mexico with him, and Mimi accepted. Jodi knew that he was going on this trip, and Jodi of course wanted to know, well, who are you taking with you? And he was just basically saying, it's my friends, it's this person and this person, and she was like, well, who is your plus one? And Travis told her, which he lied. He said that he owed one of his friends like a favor or something, and they needed a babysitter, so he was going to use his plus one as a babysitter, and Jodi seemed to understand. On June 4th, he was supposed to have a phone conference that he never showed up for, which is not like Travis. All of his friends are texting each other, calling each other. Nobody has heard from him. Nobody, Mimi hasn't heard from him. Nobody's heard from him. By June 9th, a group of his friends get together and they go to his house to look for him. So they went to his roommate. His roommate comes out the door and his friends are like, have you seen Travis? We've been looking for him. Nobody's heard from him in 5 days. His roommate says, no, I haven't seen him. I thought he went to Cancun. So his roommate said, well, I think he keeps a spare key downstairs or something like that. And when he opens the door, he sees Travis's body slumped over in the shower, everywhere dead.
He's dead. He's in his bedroom.
Okay.
In the shower.
Okay. How did this happen? Do you have any idea?
No, we have no idea. Everyone's been wondering about him for a few days.
She said that there was...
It's all over the place.
The cops did ask, though, however, if he had any enemies or anybody that was going to possibly hurt him.
He has an ex-girlfriend that's been bothering him and following him and slashing tires and things like that.
Travis had actually had some conversations with his friends from church, and he started saying things to them like, if I don't show up for church on Sunday, it's probably because I'm dead and she's killed me. So the cops get there. The guy is slumped over in the shower. He had been 27 times and in the head, you guys. Of course, the investigators are looking everywhere. They see there's just splatter everywhere. There's a big handprint on the wall. I mean, of course, at this time, they're not knowing if that's the killers or if that was his handprint. And in the searching, they found in the washing machine with a bunch of wet clothes was a camera. They pull the camera out. Of course, the camera is destroyed, but inside the camera was an SD card. They pull the SD card out, send the card to see if the old photos that had been deleted or videos could be retrieved. While investigators are working on this, they're talking to his friends and stuff. Jodi, at this time, finds out that he's dead. So she's doing things like making social media posts on MySpace and saying, oh, you know, rest in peace, Travis, and all of this stuff. Sends flowers to his grandmother about, you know, for her condolences for Travis. And then she shows up at his memorial service. And they're all uncomfortable because they don't know if she had anything to do with it. Around this time, she decides to call the investigators. So they're talking to her, you know, whatever. And right around this time, which was 10 days after they found the body, they are able to retrieve the pictures that were on that SD card. What do you think was on the SD card? Pictures of her, Jodi, and Travis, but very explicit pictures. They were stamped with dates and times. And it just so happened that these pictures of her being with Travis was the day that he was murdered. So they call her in to interrogate her.
And I have pictures of you in Travis's bedroom with Travis. Pictures of him.
Are you sure it's me? I mean, because I was
Jodi,
not there.
It's you. And the camera actually took a couple of photos by accident during the time that he was being killed.
Really?
They finish questioning her. Of course, she denies everything. And they leave out of the room and they interrogate her. She does a headstand. She's doing all of this crazy stuff that really reminds me of like the Shayna Huber situation or whatever. And then they arrest her. And then the next morning she decides she remembers or that she wants to talk to the investigators. So they bring her back in from jail. She's in the orange jumpsuit. And then she gives them the story that what is now called the ninja story.
They didn't say a lot. They were white Americans from what I could tell. They had, what do you call those things? They're like beanies, but they cover your whole face. They didn't discuss much. They just argued.
She had went to see him, and these people busted in the house, and they him, and they killed him, and she was begging him to get up and run, but he told her, save yourself. And so she ran, and the reason why she lied was because she was afraid that they would come back and get her. They know that it's lies, or they feel like it's lies, so they send her back, you know, whatever. Then comes the last story, and this is self-defense. She completely destroys Travis's character. She wants everybody to know about their life. Anyways, she gets up there for 18 days. She got life without the possibility of parole. And there's just so much stuff that I left out too. I hope that you guys know this story. I love you guys so very much. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye. Love you guys. Bye.